All right, first up is a 13 Volvo S60. First time customer came to us for a check engine light. It had two codes. One of them was related to the crankcase breather. However, on this vehicle, it's not on the valve cover. It's part of the oil filter housing. Underneath, guess what? The intake manifold. So we replaced that. Again, very easy to check. Just take the oil cap off your car while it's running. And if there's this huge suction trying to suck the cap back on, then that's the problem. It causes lean codes, the engine to run rough. We also changed the fuel rail pressure sensor. There was a code for that. Everything came out awesome. We did an oil change and the fresh intake gaskets, and it's all set. And the vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is a 11 GMC Sierra. It's 2500 HD. Came in for a flashing check engine light and a cylinder 7 misfire. Originally, we wanted to rule out this having a lifter or camshaft problem because they're so known for it. So we got to go ahead to remove the driver's valve cover in order to see if the rocker-ons were moving up and down. But as soon as we dived into it, we found that mice chewed through the wiring on the number 7 ignition coil, which was a pleasant surprise for us and the customer. We were able to fix it same day once we got on it. And all it needed was a connector. In fact, this repair was cheaper than the diagnosis. So it worked out great for everybody. And the customer is very happy, and the vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is a 91 Chevy Corvette. First time customer, just here for a starter. Kind of a quick in and out job, except the starter's kind of buried underneath the transmission lines. But once you move them out of the way, you can kind of get it in there. Still, getting your hand in there to tighten everything can be a pain, but the vehicle was fixed in one day, and it's back on the road. All right, next up is a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria. Looks like it's an ex-police car. Came to us for a fuel leak, and the gas tank was rotted out. This is one of them older cars that still uses a metal tank. So up here in the Northeast, we have two things fighting us. One is the external component, which is the road salt. So that rots your gas tank out from the outside in. And the fact that all gasoline has ethanol in it today, and that rots your gas tank out from the inside out. That's why we replace fuel filler necks all the time on the older vehicles. Now, this problem has somewhat gone away because all the cars have plastic tanks now, plastic fuel pumps, plastic fuel filler necks, plastic fuel lines. A lot of stuff is plastic now because of the ethanol. And that's a good thing because the road salt doesn't seem to affect that all that much either. Everything came out okay. It took about 2 days. None of the bolts wanted to come out, but we were able to get everything out. We replaced the straps, fuel filter, and everything is good. And the vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is a 17 Chevy Cruze. Came to us for a check engine light, had a few trouble codes, one for the turbocharger, very, very common. These turbos uh, don't last very long. You can see the wastegate right here. You see how it's moving back and forth a little bit? That usually bleeds off boost and causes an underboost code. Very common on these vehicles. We got it right from the dealer. They do list them aftermarket, but they're all made in China. We really don't trust them. The other code was for the electronic throttle body. The first thing we do is remove the throttle body, clean it, put it back in. There's Henry doing it now. This was pretty easy to get to. We didn't even charge them for this. We cleared the codes. The vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is a 22 Buick Encore. Great customer. Just came to us for a front brake pulsation. And check this out. The electronic parking brake motors are on the front brakes on this vehicle. This is the first time we've ever seen this, but apparently it's a thing. Um, it just like the back parking brake, you still need to use a scan tool in order to put it in brake pad replacement mode. But this was very odd to see, but we were able to get it all done the same day, and the vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is a 17 Honda CRV. Great customer came to us for a coolant leak, and it was from the water pump. It may look easier than it is on camera, but a lot of stuff had to come off, including a few pieces of the turbo, in order to get to this thing. Boy, they bury it in there. You know, a water pump can be anywhere. It shouldn't be so difficult to change, but it's all set. Vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is a 13 Ford Edge. It came to us for no power brakes, and very common on these vehicles, the power brake booster fails because brake fluid leaks into it through the back of the master cylinder, so we always replace that as well. You have to remove the intake manifold just to get to it under the hood, although all the bolts that attach it to the vehicle are inside the car underneath the gas and the brake pedal. So what happens is the back of the master cylinder, there's a seal. It leaks brake fluid over time into the power brake booster, ruining the diaphragm in there. And eventually the brake pedal feels squishy and or at has no power brakes at all. But we were able to get it done the same day. We used OE Ford parts, Motorcraft parts. There's three different kinds of power brake boosters. There's vacuum, that's the most common. There's hydraulic, which is found on a lot of trucks and diesels, and the electronic, which is found on most hybrids because the engine is not running all the time. We were able to get it done same day, and the vehicle is back on the road.